Your journeys are all truly, truly inspiring. And I guess I want to know if you had one piece of advice that you want to give anyone out there who's starting off, no matter what industry, just like a little nugget, or maybe something you wish you knew when you were getting started. Because that's honestly the hardest thing, is taking that first step. From the one cake to being like, oh, I'm going to sell it. And then, like, how do you take that first step? Any gifts we can give to everyone?
I'll just follow it up with what I was saying, but I think the most important thing for me is that, and I never went to culinary school. I didn't know what I was doing. It was just from like fun, right? And when you sometimes get too lost in the technique and what you're supposed to be doing, what other businesses are doing, what are the trends, whatever, who cares? Like, again, like stay real to yourself. Like, I cannot say that enough, because for me, it was that I grew up in Mexico and I missed piñatas at birthdays. And so I wanted a cake that like acted like a piñata, and like, ta-da, the cover of my book, right? So like, I think that things like that were really important for me, that like I messed up so many times. Like, that cake failed so many times. At first I put like lollipops and chocolate bars and all these things, and you cut it and they were all just like stuck in there. I was like, okay, not working. And so just sticking to something that is you until it works is really important, and not looking at what anyone else is doing. Because it's very easy when I was opening, they're like, well, what is this bakery doing? And did you see what that bakery is doing? And which one sells better for them? And what are these chefs doing? Again, who cares? Because what your ideas, and I pull my inspiration from like my childhood, my inner happiness, my whatever, and now I look around and there's so many of these bakeries that were like the big bakeries to me doing a version of my cake, and that's really cool. So I think that if you just stick to yourself and never compare yourself to what's out there, then that's the best thing for me.
I love that. That's so Aerie real. Like, we're really trying to encourage everyone as part of this movement to just embrace who they are. And I feel like the more you stay in your own lane and you stop comparing yourself, or you stop almost compromising and shrinking yourself to fit into someone else's box, like that's when, those obstacles appear and you second guess. You just got to keep listening to that intuition. So I would love to know your advice, both of you.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I think that's the only way you can really stand out. Today, it's really hard to break into any industry and to be different. And the only way that you can be different is to truly be your authentic self. Whatever that means, you need to dig deep and figure that out, and like stay your path with whatever that is. My other advice would be, you're going to have to make some sacrifices. Like you said, you're going to have to, give up some free time, spend your money elsewhere. You really need to make sure that you're, thinking about your end goal, even from the beginning. And also recognize what you know, and what you don't know, and that's okay to ask for help. You can't do it all. Also when I started, I was a one-woman show, and definitely tried to do it all, but you can't do everything under the sun. So just know that, and it's okay to ask for help. Ask advice from all of your friends, all of the people around you, any friend that was an accountant or a lawyer or a consumer even. I would constantly call them and ask them for advice, because I was just always in search of answers, and it's okay to ask for help. Love that.
So I'm a perfectionist, and this is actually a lesson I think really honed in this year, if I'm going to be really honest with you guys. Don't burn out. Like, try to really be kind to yourself. And like you said, like, this happened 6 years in the making, and while you were hustling, like, yes, hustle, but also put boundaries down, because it's so easy to just like really burn yourself down to nothing, and then it's so hard to pick yourself back up sometimes. Like, I remember when I was trying to, I was working at a Michelin star restaurant, and I had just made sous chef. So I was like, cool, like I wanted to just put everything into it. And I put on way too much I could handle. Like, I would get to the restaurant at 7 a.m. and I was leave until the last table left, which would sometimes be 2 a.m. And the restaurant was only closed on Sundays. So I would be there 6 days a week. sometimes I wouldn't even eat all day because I would be tasting the desserts throughout the whole day. So my mind thought like, oh, you're eating like sugar, like a little bit throughout the day. And then I would get off work and be like, oh my God, I didn't eat all day. And then I became best friends with my 24-hour diner. They still know my name. But anyway, I went down that road for like 3 years, and then kind of did another turn and burn with the activism space, which that's a whole other conversation. But to be really just, yes, have your vision board, have your mood board, have your goals, but don't beat yourself up if you don't check everything off the list. Like, it's okay to take a break, it's okay to take a breath, and like, believe me when I tell you, it is so much better in the long run to, like, you know that fable of the tortoise and the hare? Like, be the tortoise. Like, I've been the hare before, and like, it sucks. Like, be the tortoise, just show up every day, and really find that passion too. Like, I think that that's a common theme. No matter what industry you're in, you have to find the thing that's gonna get you out of bed in those moments when you just don't wanna leave. Like, those moments when you just feel so drained or you feel discouraged for whatever reason. There's so many challenges that happen, especially living in a place like New York City. So really surround yourself with people that get it, that people that will say, hey, when's the last time you had a real meal? Or when's the last time you did something for yourself? Or let's just chill today. Like, we don't have to be running around. Like, have a network like that that can really look out for you. And then be able to do the same thing for your tribe. It's important to surround yourself with people that are like-minded, and you know, iron sharpens iron. So when you're in a community like that and you find that community, whether it's in your industry or whether it's a passion project, that is just going to help you thrive, and no matter what industry you're in.